I love sitting down with you because we're on the same wavelength when we're
Go,
attacking
brother.
stuff. I love it.
Tell me what you guys specialize in, Jay. You're obviously been in the game a long time, 20 years, but tell me where your guys' niche is and what your real focus is. In addition to that, what your optimal client looks like.
Great question. First of all, shout out to everybody on the team at Golden West. In July was our 20th year anniversary.
Golden West is the company, guys. It will be in the description. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Skip the Lines podcast. It helps get amazing guests that come on and share this awesome information that Jason is sharing now. Back to you.
I love it. So 20 years, we have been doing residential property management. And over the years, we've kind of made sure that we stay in our lane. Okay. And so when you talk about niche,
why resi over commercial or retail or all the other asset classes out there?
So a lot of it is just origin. That's what I started in. I was a intern for a top producer back when I was in college, and I went to the University of Arizona. I was interning in California.
She was an agent or a broker?
She was a broker.
A property manager or?
She was a sales agent, and back in those days, you could have one door separate the loan side from the sales side.
Yep.
And so you could get a bathroom for what you can get a whole house.
So she was crushing, and you're
crushing.
like, I want to be like her because she's dope.
So I interned. I wanted to be like her.
Yep.
And she saw that, hey, like $100,000 could get you a house in Arizona by the university where 4 kids were paying like $2,000 a month in rent. And she was like, well, that's a no-brainer. So she helped me get going. And so that's where the residential started. We have done boutique apartments, and we do very well at that. Think 4 to 40 units. Too small for a Greystar to come down and manage. Too big for your mom and pop single family manager. So,
and you guys are San Diego,
right?
Nevada,
San Diego, Las Vegas, and Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, and why those markets? I'm assuming because you were out in Arizona because of college and where you kind of cut your teeth.
Correct.
San Diego's where you call home.
That's correct.
And then Vegas.
So funny thing, Vegas, when my parents had a corporation, my mom sold her company and moved to Nevada for tax reasons. And so we spent a lot of time out there, and I thought, oh, wow, there's a lot of rentals here. I'll open a small office out there. Look, in hindsight, if I was talking to people starting a company, try not to have 3 different locations when you're starting.
Dude, we need to get in. I had the same thing.
It's a lot of stress.
It's going to be dope.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going to be bigger. We're going to be able to say we have all these markets. It's going to sound amazing.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
In practice, so super difficult. So, we did the Arizona thing. I then did the Vegas thing. And then I was sitting on my couch in San Diego running these offices in the other states while not having anything here in San Diego. So I said, you know what, let's open one here. And off we went. So, look.
Yeah, so for us at ADU Pals, I had 4 offices in 2 states.
Got it.
At my last company. When the cat's away, the mice will play. You have to make sure you have really good systems in place. I think people generally work harder when they're in the corporate office as well.
Right.
Like the energy is different, etc. But we are very, very focused on Southern California, specifically
Right.
San Diego now. Because the opportunity is really big for us in the ADU space in San Diego. We chatted about that. It's very, very unique. And there's so much low-hanging fruit that it's like, does it behoove me to go do a bunch of deals in San Francisco or San Jose?
Right.
Even though it's a great market. Does it behoove me to go build in Arizona, in Phoenix, because it's booming, and Vegas, which is booming? I think, again, the strategy and some of the experience that comes along with having done this. And guys, I don't know everything. I'll be the first one to tell you that. I'm learning every day, like Jason and I were talking about. But there are some things that I do know. And I know that when you're starting a business and you're growing that business, if you can focus your energy in one lane, one vehicle, and one lane to get there, I think growth will happen the way it should happen organically. You should not be pushing that, and especially logistically. So just wanted to throw that in. So you had the 3 markets. You were out in Vegas because parents were there, Arizona, and then you doubled down on San Diego because you were here.
That's right. Look, at the end of the day, we're a residential property management firm. That's our focus.
That's what you guys do.
That's all we do. Where we get most of our business is from our realtor partners because we don't do any sales. So like I was saying, we're not realtors who happen to handle rentals. I mean, we're licensed agents with our sole focus on residential property management, and people appreciate that because, number one, they know we're not going to steal their clients. Why are you going to refer your business to someone who's most likely going to be your competitor?
So you guys don't sell real estate at all?
Not at all.
They don't sell real estate at all. Also, check out Jason's podcast, which we're going to drop, Cash Flow.
The Cash Flow Podcast, yeah.
The Cash Flow Podcast with Jason Yoss. I was on it. It was awesome. They're not a threat to agents to steal their clients.
And that's where we're getting all of our business, because we built that trusted relationship. And at the end of the day, when you ask me about staying in a lane, the reason why we're not doing vacation rentals, or the reason why we're not doing sales, is because we wanted to be experts on one lane, which is residential property management long-term.
Love it. Let's talk about rents, lagging a bit, showing a little bit of stress maybe in the market, a bunch of inventory coming online.
Right.
And prices dipping a little bit in San Diego, which we haven't seen in some time.
Sure.
Tell me kind of what you feel about, developers when they're underwriting their deals, and, some of the blood that's in the streets that, we're seeing out there, kind of how do you mitigate that, or what are your thoughts on it?
Well, first and foremost, I think I've heard it from you best. Like, you make your money when you buy the deal. Everything else is just trying to keep that cash. So if you're underwriting a development project and you're putting rents as pie in the sky, or pro forma, which is not reality, you're going to suffer down the line.
100%.
And look, I follow a gentleman by the name of Jay Parsons. He has been putting out some great metrics on rental data over the last several years. You can catch him on LinkedIn, again, Jay Parsons. But the takeaway is this. With all that building that is finally coming to fruition and hitting the market, okay, with all those people with the low interest rates who are like, do I really want to sell right now? We have a lot of inventory. And that inventory has led to, even though we have a decent demand, that inventory has led to the rents cooling off. And so is it going to drop? That's not going to drop off the market, but it's definitely cool.
I think the market always speaks. And we had Larry Turner on, I was telling you yesterday. Right. And, he has some ideas for sort of the affordability, et cetera. We are still short doors.
Yeah,
we are short doors.
By a lot. We need more development.
We need more doors. But, how does the city work with developers?
Right.
How do we underwrite property knowing, potentially that there's going to be additional hiccups that aren't seen by what the market's doing? No one knows what the debt is going to be doing.
Sure.
We've been anticipating these drops that they've happened, but then, commercial mortgage rates went up.
Right.
So is the Fed going to continue to drop rates to where, numbers pencil better? But at the end of the day, the rental market, bro, we need to be understanding what's coming online.
Right.
How much inventory, because you can get flooded with too many studios.
Yeah.
Or too many 2-2s.
Yeah.
Or be building. I've seen a lot of ADUs come online, or plans that they, offloaded some of these things, or tried to. They're building 950,000 square foot ADUs in a market that they should be building 1-1s.
Yeah.
And so then you're trying to offload that property for the value of, you think, what that square footage would be, but it doesn't equate to that. So if I was on the buy side there, I'm like, I can't offer you this, what you think it's worth, Mr. Seller, because if I build this, it's going to cost me more money to build, and my return is not going to match up. It's not going to pencil.
You said something that was super important there, Jonathan, was, a lot of people are developing maybe, 1,000 square foot property that should have been a 1-1, or they're doing a junior studio. You got to understand that what I see a lot of developers doing is they're taking comps from a standard apartment complex, and they're trying to make it match. Oh yeah, well, the apartment complex has a 1-1, and they're trying to make it match to their ADU that's a 1-1, or their garage conversion that's a studio, and they don't match exactly.
Where do the people go, Jason, if they want to understand more about property values, about inventory, about rents, essentially what you guys do to understand what you should bring a property out when you're leasing it up at? Where would the people find that information? Obviously, they can reach out to you, right? And your team. But is there another place that they can go online?
There's plenty of new, especially AI-driven, like Rentalmeter.ai. There's plenty of different sites that you can go to, you can plug in, and will give you some quality data. The old days, the only way to do it was go on the MLS, and that wasn't very efficient. So, but there is a little bit of art to the science. You got to know the market. You go down one street in Encanto is different than the next street, right? Yep. So you got to know the area that you're working in, and then you've got to have the right kind of software, AI behind you to give you a range. And that's what you're looking for.